word, that we may quench the fiery darts of the enemy. Tonight, Lord, I remember the spirit pilots, the warriors of valiant deed, and all those who stand the watch. Give your angels to watch over our warfighters who guard our lands behind the shields of patriot batteries, the Iron Dome, the David Sling. By your grace, our families here enjoy the county fair. They build facilities to enhance our community togetherness. May we acknowledge these gifts that come by your generous hand. Let us receive all things with thanksgiving and serve you with obedience. Bless our land with honest industry, truthful education, and an honorable way of life. Save us from addiction and violence and discord and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil course of action. With your healing touch, restore those who are torn. Give courage to those who suffer, and help us that we who came from many nations with many different perspectives and voices may become a united people. Support us in defending liberty and give order and justice and peace in our land. And when times are prosperous, may our hearts be thankful, and in lean times do not let our trust in you fail. Guard and guide our Mayor Jose, our council, our law enforcement under Chief Steve Schmidt, and our faithful responders under Chief Jody Craig, and all who hold the public trust. Bless their decisions and work. Safeguard each soul. As you have promised freedom in your Son, so now provide guidance by your Holy Spirit. This I ask for our good, your glory. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Thomas, excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are honored to have you, sir. All right, I call to order Miss Brenda. And that will be 6:06.
Bonnie,
Here.
Brad,
Here.
Jennifer,
Here.
Rob,
Here.
Faith,
Here.
Mike.
All right, thank you for that. All right, I need a motion to approve the minutes from June 2nd.
Motion.
Motion by Rob,
I'll second.
second by Miss Jennifer. All
All
right,
right.
Brenda.
Mike,
Here.
do you approve the minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Bonnie,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
All right, I need an approval for the meeting notes from June 9th.
Motion.
Motion by Rob,
I'll second.
second by Miss Jennifer.
All right. Rob,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Faith,
I will abstain since I wasn't here.
okay. Brad,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Council. All right, for presentations, we're going to start with Miss Amber Odell. Come up here for a minute. Give her just a few minutes. She just got back off vacation. No, I'm just kidding. Glad to have you back.
It's nice to be back. Good afternoon, Council. So we have some events coming up starting this week. Wednesday, we have the Shepherdsville Splash. That's going to be at Paracut Springs Conference Center at 1 to 3. We'd like the community to come out, all of you all to come out. It's a good way to learn about sponsorship opportunities and the local businesses with partnerships. So we're looking for kids to be sponsored for the Aquatic Center, and then anything that you all have questions about, it could be answered during that event. And then we have the Mayor's Color Walk. It had to be moved from May 31st to this Saturday. We will start at the pavilion across from the playground in the city park. We have the farmer's market going on at the same time, so we'll be at the pavilion. And then we have several stops along the way. It'll give the community a chance to see all the new things in the park. We will be venturing over to the Aquatic Center site, so come out and join us for that. It is free to join, and the walk starts at 9 o'clock. We have two nonprofits that day. The American Legion Post 157. They will be there taking donations for the Veterans Memorial that's gonna be in the downtown area. They will be planting poppies, so they will be there taking donations for that. And then also the Cambero Foundation will be present, and they will be taking donations for the kids' sponsorships for the aquatic center as well. And then Bullet Blast in the City Fair will be coming up July 5th, 4 to 10. It's only one day this year. We will have Kentucky Hillbilly starting off from 4 to 6, and then the headliner that night will be Mellencamp from 7 to 10. Of course, free rides again this year. We will have a dunk tank. Mayor will be in the dunk tank again this year. So all of those
Looks like a bunch
donations.
of people out there want to do that.
all
I saw
those-
so many smiles all at one time, like, wait a minute. Wait a
We
minute.
appreciate it last year. So all of those donations will also go to sponsor the kids for the aquatic center. And then after the headliner stops at 10 o'clock, we will have the fireworks start. So, and then the farmers market has opened for the season. It opened on June 7th. We did have to be closed this past Saturday for the resurfacing of the parking lot. The city park is closed until this coming Wednesday due to the weather and the humidity. It just takes time to cure the parking lot. So look for the park to be opened hopefully Wednesday morning. And then we have the fire department is holding the Battle of the Badges on July 1st. The blood drive will be here at the gym from 9 to 2, so you can register to give blood.
I just want to add, so what we're talking about is Wednesday, 1 to 3 at Parakeet Springs. It's open to the public. If you can make it or have friends or family make it, it's going to discuss, you're going to meet all the folks that are involved with the aquatic center. You're going to meet the designers of the pool. You'll meet Luckett and Farley. You'll meet Councilman Hunsaker. They're the ones actually working on the pool. The pool is being delivered. It is supposed to be this week. So the inside pool is actually going to be on site. Also going to have Hagerman and QK4. Hagerman is building it. QK4 is doing a lot of the site plan, the parking lots and other pieces in this development. That's only not there, but in the city park as well. And then the last but not least, we're going to have sports facilities companies. It's the company that we've selected to run the aquatic center. Obviously, we're building a very nice facility. We want to make sure we have a company that can take care of that. We went through an interview process to bring them in. We'll be working on a contract with them to actually maintain the facility. But I think it's, if you guys can make it, please, it's always a $1 million question is how much it's going to cost. You know, we're going to try to give you the best answer as far as what we think is going to happen with that. But we're making it very affordable, and we're obviously looking at incentives to help folks, to help those families that can't afford to make it. And we'll talk more about that in that meeting. We're also going to make sure that on the mayor's walk, we just want to give folks a chance to walk around. First of all, it's just healthy to walk a little bit, but it's also to make sure that you can see some of the progress. Obviously, we've been as frustrated as anybody. We had a truck that broke down, and then they had all this hot weather. They're trying to get this park reopened. And what you'll see when you see it, if you can go by the farmer's market, you'll get an example of what the whole area is going to look like in the park. All the roads, and we're going to try to do the cart paths too, because it gives an extension on the wear and tear on the roads. We're saving the city a lot of money, almost $1 million in this year in road repairs, and we should be able to do more because of this product. So we have a lot of exciting things there. Then obviously the Bullet Blast is a big deal for us. Obviously with free rides, you know, we think that that's an important part of making it an affordable experience. We did it last year and it went really, really well. So we're pretty excited about that again this year. And you can even get on the ride station if you want to get on the rides, no charge. All right, but I think it's fun to see that we got a lot of things going on. We do have, one thing I want to add to this is that August the 16th, I think that's the date, we're looking to open up the skate park here. But prior to that, I've got folks working, I think Sam is, I'm not sure if she's here, I didn't see her come in, but Sam is my Parks Rec. She's working with 4 volunteers to put on a 6-week or a 5-week clinic. It's 9 o'clock on Saturdays, so kids can come out and learn about skateboarding. We want them to know about that. We're gonna furnish, we'll have some skateboards to teach them things entry level if they want to learn about it. A lot of kids get excited about this, but we want to make sure they learn safely how to do that. So a lot of things coming up over the next few months before they actually go back to school. But we think it's important for you guys always to know, and if you do, Amber always has everything out there for us. I appreciate you doing that. And we try to keep you up with all the traffic things. That's what we're trying to use Amber for, to everybody gets information. I know we've got construction on Cedar Grove. We know the 65 is in the plans to be actually under construction like it was in LJ. So we want to make sure we let you guys know, but She'll always have it on her page. If you don't have her as a friend, I would suggest that you do that so you can always learn about what's going on in the city. Glad to have you back.
Thanks.
All right, thank you for what you do.
Thank you,
All right.
Amber.
Yep.
What was that date at Vertical Springs?
That is Wednesday at 25th, 1 o'clock. All right, I need my favorite criminal, Vicky. And if you got any, I'm bringing those two guys up here too. I saw them back here. They're trying to hide back on me. All right, we're gonna come up here for a minute. I want to tell you, first of all, I want to say this very sincerely, that we have a great partner in Paracat Springs. I kept this like this for a reason. Trying to hide these things. Hey, come on, dude. All right, so what I want you to do, I try to. Everyone can see, how much you want to see this? This is just one of our partners here, Paracat Springs. And what they've done in this year's budget is they made a donation of $165,000. And this goes actually to the town square, and this is going to go, if you've seen the renderings, we're gonna go over that in a minute too. But I want you all to see, this is what they're actually putting together for the history panels, so you can learn about Shepherdsville. So when you walk into that town square area, you're gonna get a chance to see what Shepherdsville is all about. We also got this lifetime license. She's been doing this. No, she's just working on it. We're not gonna put her out there instead. But it's also really important for you all to know, this is one of our partners. This is what matters when it comes to the city. This kind of our show, we really appreciate it. We appreciate it as well. I know most of the members couldn't make it today, but I wanted you to see this show. And I actually don't know if I can talk about this. All I'm gonna say, did you get it? Okay, cut out? Okay, yeah, we're not gonna get into the dollars, but we're just gonna say a great partnership for helping us operate the parks. So we're gonna start with this. Thank you all so much today. You wanna get our best side up there? Thank you, my son. No. No, you don't have, it's, I know it's good. Oh. Come on, it's good. You wanna hold it? Can we get you guys to hold it? Yeah. Listen, I thank you guys, and I really appreciate the partnership from the commission. Let me get a round of applause. That's the real stuff right there. This is the real stuff. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate so much. This is the kind of stuff.
Thank you all.
So thank you, Ms. Vicky. I have to be nice to you the rest of the year? Yeah. Ms. Brenda, I'm gonna give you the real check.
Okay.
Very excited about this. But I want to make sure that you all know, this is just one of many things that happen. We've got some other donations that have been made to the city on behalf of always developing the town square, as well as the aquatic center. We're just getting started with that. We had I want to make sure, one had to cancel. I want to make sure Sycamore Farm, I would like you to remember that name. That she had to cancel tonight. Her name is Cindy Crawford. And her big focus and her organization she's been working on for years because of her own experiences is human trafficking, sexual trafficking, okay? I wish she could have been here today. She has a very good story to tell us about the things that happen on I-65 from Michigan to Alabama, okay? And we're working with her trying to find ways. She's trying to work on a transition, have to have a lot of confidentiality in this. Because one of the things that she said to me that stood out is that even when somebody's trying to get away from that, they go try to find them, okay? They're never free. They keep trying to find them, and they'll keep trying to locate them and bring them back into the fold. And that stood out to me. So she's gonna be on our next meeting. We'll bring her back. I wanna make sure if you guys can be here, please listen. It's an important part of our society that we gotta find remedies for it. You've always heard a thing about Derby and some of the other big events that come into the city, and you've heard about this before. I just thought when she came in, it was a story that we had to hear. But let's find some solutions for it as well. So I'm sorry that she's not here today. On a real pleasant note, I want to make sure today, we have a proclamation that we did last week. And this was for the women veterans of our community. The City of Shepherdsville, Proclamation 25-02. Whereas the American men and women veterans of the United States Armed Forces have served their country in times of peace and war, their sacrifices have protected the rights and safety of all American citizens, and they are owed our gratitude for their efforts, and they continue to contribute to the prosperity and success of our nation. And whereas women have served and played vital roles in all of our American conflicts, bravely contributing in countless ways from the front lines to the home front. They have served as soldiers, directly engaging the enemy, while others have dedicated themselves to treating the wounded and providing crucial medical care. Defying expectations, women have taken to the skies, flying combat missions with skill and courage. Their dedication and leadership have shattered barriers, allowing them to rise through the ranks and achieve the highest positions of command, demonstrating their unwavering commitment to the nation's defense. Whereas since the American Revolution, women have proudly served and supported our nation's military. Since the inception of the Army Nurse Corps in 1901, women have formally served in the United States Armed Forces. June 12th is a significant date in history, as it marks the 77th anniversary of the 1948 Women's Armed Services Integration Act, which acknowledged the great contributions made by women in the military and finally granting them the right to serve as permanent, full, and regular members of the United States Armed Forces and Reserves. During World War I, about 35,000 women officially served as nurses and support staff. In World War II, 140,000 women served in the U.S. Army and the Women's Army Corps, performing critical jobs such as military intelligence, cryptography, parachute rigging. Today, there are nearly 2 million women veterans living in the United States who have proudly served in the United States Armed Forces. Whereas the state of Kentucky proudly hosts a community of over 27,000 women veterans, individuals whose unwavering dedication, both in and out of uniform, has been instrumental in shaping the prosperity of our nation, our state, our cities, including Shepherdsville. Their sacrifices, resiliency, and contributions to our shared security and well-being are deeply valued and appreciated by all. And the city of Shepherdsville recognizes and honors the profound impact on our community and beyond. Whereas National Women's Veterans Recognition Day is celebrated annually on June 12th in recognition of the Women's Armed Forces Service Integration Act of 1948. And it honors the contributions of our nation's women who have served our country in times of peace and war. Now, therefore, I, Jose Cabero, under the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Shepherdsville, I do here proclaim June 12th, 2025 as National Women's Veterans Recognition Day in the city of Shepherdsville, and I urge all citizens to thank our American women veterans for their dedication and service and take the time to recognize the enormous contributions they have made on behalf of all of us. So I'd like to recognize our women veterans in our community. So a round of applause. And if you haven't had the chance to see the fine women in their pictures downtown, they're all downtown. And we're very honored in this first wave of our veterans. Our Vietnam veterans is what we started with. We are going to, a next wave, we're going to put next spring on another set of our local veterans, men and women. And we're going to keep them up all as long as we can. We've been talking about 5 or 6 months a year. That we are, and when you come through our community, you're going to know we recognize our veterans. And we appreciate that. By doing that, we're saying thank you. So I want to make sure that you know that I'm very honored. We did a thing on the 13th, almost a week and a half ago, that we actually sat there and actually did a presentation at the library. And I was very honored to be a part of that. And we think that it's really important for everybody to know we deeply appreciate their service and sacrifice to this country. So thank you all. All right. It's hard to go after that, isn't it? All right. Old business. All right. Old business 7.1. We have a reading of the ordinance 025014.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025014, an ordinance amending 024036 related to the minimum bid threshold for materials, supplies, equipment, or services, and exceptions and exemptions thereto in the City of Shepherdsville. sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary, Section 1 sets forth that Ordinance 024036 is amended as follows. Section 2 sets forth that Section 1 amends the threshold for which a newspaper bid is required involving expenditure set forth in KRS 424.260 subsection 1 shall be set at and shall not exceed $40,000. Sets forth that the city shall comply with all provisions set forth in KRS 424.260. Section 3 sets forth the severability clause. Section 4 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 5 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right, thank you, Ms. Catherine. This is the second reading, and we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
All right, Ms. Faith, and a second.
I'll second.
Ms. Jennifer. Ms. Brenda?
All right. Mike,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Council. All right. Ms. Catherine, 025015.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025015, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map as amended, changing the zoning of 0.4362 acres more or less located at 134 Salt River Plant Road in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 056-000-00002 from R3 Residential to B2 Central Business, sponsored by Councilmember Rob Adams. Summary, Section 1 sets forth that the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission held a public hearing on May 8, 2025, docket number 2025Z-23, and based on the testimony and evidence presented at that hearing, recommended that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map be amended to change the zoning of 0.4362 acres more or less located at 134 Salt River Plant Road, also known as parcel 056-000-00002, hereinafter subject property, from R3 Residential to B2 Central Business. Section 2 sets forth that the City Council adopts the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission's findings of fact and recommendations set forth in docket number 2025Z-23. Section 3 sets forth that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map are amended to change the zoning of the subject property from R3 Residential to B2 Central Business. Section 4 sets forth the severability clause. Section 5 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 6 sets forth the publication requirement.
You'll do me a favor. I know you were not here the last time, correct? Yes, sir. You do me a favor, just on top of that button right there, if you will, introduce yourself first to this group.
Yes, sir. My name is Dalen Lance, and I'm the attorney for the property owners on this rezoning application.
Okay.
And
Oh, just touch it. Yep.
gotcha. Now, I'm here tonight in their stead. They're actually with their son in the hospital right now. But I do have a couple just maps for you guys, and I can answer any questions you have. You can see here, they own this yellow square, and it's already landlocked. They also own the property around it.
Right.
And it's already B2, so they're just asking to make this one B2 as well, and then we're gonna do a deed of consolidation, get it into compliance, and make it one B2 tract. And all that's on this right now is basically two dilapidated buildings that are kind of falling apart. They want to clear those off, we're gonna level it all off, gravel it all, and yeah, just do that deed of consolidation and get it to compliance.
We just wanted to, obviously, this is our second reading. We don't normally have a presentation, but since we haven't seen that, I want to give you the courtesy of just showing
Appreciate
everybody
that,
the
yeah,
council.
and I'm here to answer any questions, but
Yeah.
let you guys do your thing.
Is there any
I make a
que-
motion, we accept it.
Okay. Second on mine? Second mine? Well, then, thank you. We don't need anything from you, but thank you for making that presentation.
All
Ms.
right.
Brenda?
Bonnie.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
All right. Ms. Catherine, 02516.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025016, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map as amended, changing the zoning of 0.19 acres more or less located at Highway 44 East in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037 NE 007003 from B2 Central Business to B1 Business Highway, sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary, Section 1 sets forth that the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission held a public hearing on May 8, 2025, docket number 2025Z-16, and based on testimony and evidence presented at that hearing, recommended that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning map be amended to change the zoning of 0.19 acres more or less located at Highway 44 East, also known as parcel 037 NE 0-07-003, hereinafter subject property from B2 Central Business to B1 Business Highway. Section 2 sets forth that the City Council adopts the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission's findings of fact and recommendations set forth in docket number 2025Z-16. Section 3 sets forth that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning map are amended to change the zoning of the subject property from B2 Central Business to B1 Business Highway. Section 4 sets forth the severability clause. Section 5 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 6 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right, thank you. Don't know if we have any further questions on this one. Anything from the council?
I'll make a motion.
All right,
Second.
first by Jennifer, second by Rob. Ms. Brenda?
Faith,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
All right. All right. Ms. Catherine, 025017.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025017, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of 0.302 acres more or less located at 355 Highway 44 East in the City of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037 NE 007-004 from B2 Central Business to B1 Business Highway, sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary. Section 1 sets forth that the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission had a public hearing on May 8, 2025, docket number 2025Z-17, and based on the testimony and evidence presented at that hearing, recommended that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning map be amended to change the zoning of 0.302 acres more or less located at 355 Highway 44 East, also known as parcel 037 NE 007-004, hereinafter subject property from B2 Central Business to B1 Business Highway. Section 2 sets forth that the City Council adopts the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission's findings of fact and recommendations set forth in docket number 2025Z-17. Section 3 sets forth that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning map are amended to change the zoning of the subject property from B2 Central Business to B1 Business Highway. Section 4 sets forth the severability clause. Section 5 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 6 sets forth a publication requirement.
All right.
Motion to accept.
All right, motion.
Second.
Rob first and Faith second. Ms. Brenda?
Jennifer,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
All right, 025018, Ms. Catherine.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025018, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of 0.361 acres more or less located at Highway 44 East in the City of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037 NE 007-005 from R2 residential to B1 Business Highway, sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary. Section 1 sets forth that the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission had a public hearing on May 8, 2025, docket number 2025Z-18, and based on the testimony and evidence presented at that hearing, recommended that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning map be amended to change the zoning of 0.361 acres more or less located at Highway 44 East, also known as parcel 037 NE 007-005, hereinafter subject property from R2 residential to B1 Business Highway. Section 2 sets forth that the City Council adopts the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission's findings of fact and recommendations set forth in docket number 2025Z-18. Section 3 sets forth that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning map are amended to change the zoning of the subject property from R2 residential to B1 Business Highway. Section 4 sets forth the severability clause. Section 5 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 6 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right,
Motion to accept.
all right, Rob.
Second.
Second by Ms. Jennifer.
Mike,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
All right, council. All right, again, we're on 025019.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025019, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning map as amended changing the zoning of 0.78 acres more or less located at 210 Carpenter Street in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037 NE 008-001, from B2 Central Business to B1 Business Highway, sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary. Section 1 sets forth that the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission held a public hearing on May 8, 2025, docket number 2025Z-19, and based on the testimony and evidence presented at that hearing, recommended that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map be amended to change the zoning of 0.78 acres more or less located at 210 Carpenter Street, also known as parcel 037 NE 008-001, here and after subject property, from B2 Central Business to B1 Business Highway. Section 2 sets forth that the City Council adopts the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission's findings of fact and recommendations set forth in docket number 2025Z-19. Section 3 sets forth that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map are amended to change the zoning of the subject property from B2 Central Business to B1 Business Highway. Section 4 sets forth the severability clause. Section 5 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 6 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right, thank you. I need a motion.
I'll make a
to
motion.
accept.
All right.
Second.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Jennifer, then?
Oh, go
Jennifer,
ahead.
second. Rob's first. Let's look at the video.
Brad,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Council. All right, 025020.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025020, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map as amended, changing the zoning of 0.127 acres more or less located at Highway 44 East in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037 NE 008-005A, from R2 residential to B1 Business Highway, sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary. Section 1 sets forth that the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission held a public hearing on May 8, 2025, docket number 2025Z-20, and based on the testimony and evidence presented at that hearing, recommended that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map be amended to change the zoning of 0.127 acres more or less located at Highway 44 East, also known as parcel 037 NE 008-005A, hereinafter subject property, from R2 residential to B1 Business Highway. Section 2 sets forth that the City Council adopts the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission's findings of fact and recommendations set forth in docket number 2025Z-20. Section 3 sets forth that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map are amended to change the zoning of the subject property from R2 residential to B1 Business Highway. Section 4 sets forth the severability clause. Section 5 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 6 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right, thank you, Ms. Catherine. All right, need
I'll make a motion.
All right, Ms. Jennifer?
Second.
All right.
Mike,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
and Bonnie.
Yes.
Thank you, Council.
Last one.
Last but not least, 025021.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025021, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map as amended, changing the zoning of 0.449 acres more or less located at Hester Street in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037 NE 008-005, from R2 residential to B1 Business Highway, sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez. Summary. Section 1 sets forth that the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission held a public hearing on May 8, 2025, docket number 2025Z-21, and based on the testimony and evidence presented at that hearing, recommended that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map be amended to change the zoning of 0.449 acres more or less located at Hester Street, also known as parcel 037 NE 008-005, hereinafter subject property, from R2 residential to B1 Business Highway. Section 2 sets forth that the City Council adopts the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission's findings of fact and recommendation set forth in docket number 2025Z-21. Section 3 sets forth that the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map are amended to change the zoning of the subject property from R2 residential to B1 Business Highway. Section 4 sets forth the severability clause. Section 5 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 6 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right.
Motion to accept.
All right, Rob.
Second.
All right, by Faith. I was watching Bonnie then, I figured I just, I don't know what you were getting ready to do there. All right. All right.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
And just for everybody here, that was obviously a lot of work that's done in a business residential area. They were just changing some of the lots there out on 44 Automar. All right, with that said, obviously a lot of you here for this next one. Ms. Catherine, our second reading on 025-022.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025-022. An ordinance of the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, declaring the city's intent to annex into the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, by consent of all property owners, a parcel of real estate currently owned by Dorothy C. Yoakum, consisting of 25.853 acres, more or less, located at Cedar Grove Road, Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, having parcel ID 056-000-00002B, as more particularly described and illustrated on and in exhibits to this ordinance, and referring the annexation to the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission for a zoning recommendation. Sponsored by Councilmember Mike Hibbard. Summary. Section 1 sets forth the description of the property which is the subject to this ordinance as real estate consisting of 25.853 acres, more or less, located at and known as Cedar Grove Road, Shepherdsville, Kentucky, 40165, parcel ID 056-000-00002B, conveyed to Dorothy C. Yoakum and the late Charles R. Yoakum, husband and wife, in Bullitt County Deed Book 341, page 682, and Deed Book 766, page 630, hereinafter property. Section 2 incorporates by reference the exhibits that describe and illustrate the property. Section 3 sets forth that the property is adjacent to the city's boundaries, is urban in character, and suitable for development for urban purposes. Section 4 sets forth that the owner of record of the property has given prior consent in writing to the annexation. Section 5 sets forth the city's intent to annex the property into the city limits of the City of Shepherdsville. Section 6 refers the matter to the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission for that body's recommendation as to the appropriate zoning classification. Section 7 sets forth the severability clause. Section 8 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 9 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right, I know we've had a lot of discussion on all this.
Yeah, can I make a comment on that?
Sure.
So another consideration besides the drainage and taxes, but drainage and traffic and all those issues is, we're relying a lot on occupational tax for this. And if you've set foot in a warehouse over the last 10 years, once a year, you'll notice like automation in factories is like getting phenomenal. So I'm also concerned that we're gonna have all these buildings and no one really working there. And we're kind of relying on that occupational tax to sustain our city. I just don't think this is a good direction for us. And then we don't have the affordable housing around it to accommodate those workers. Some of the ones that we just annexed were not really affordable for a warehouse worker. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right.
Yes, I do.
No, go ahead.
And this, I'm the same.
Get your mic.
Oh, sorry. I'm the same. I feel like, annexing, we're doing a lot of annexing. That's what, it keeps coming up and it keeps coming up. And I really feel like we're not looking at our current city boundaries. We're not taking care of the citizens in our current boundaries. We're too busy trying to expand and expand and expand. We need to make sure our roads are paved. We need to make sure our drainage is fixed. And we need to make sure that our services, our fire, our police, that those are built up before we keep taking on more problems and more problems.
All right, thank you. All right. Yeah, Brad.
Indulge me for a minute. So, I hope through this process, everybody realizes that we are willing to listen to people. This is very unusual that we've had so many meetings that concern one development. You know, and a lot of times when these things come up, you hear a lot of the mayor and the council are trying to do this and trying to do that. We're not trying to do anything. we're just citizen legislators trying to make the best decision that we possibly can. We try to do what's legal, we try to do what's consistent, and we try to be good neighbors. And I think the third one is the one that sometimes gets lost. You know, and I understand the vitriol when it comes to warehouses. Past iterations of this council have allowed these warehouses to kind of proliferate outside of what was the original industrial park on 480. We allowed them on Conestoga, we allowed them down 61, we allowed them behind some houses on 480, which, you know, I think is atrocious. And what it does is it puts us in a bind when future developments come up, and they ask us, well, you allowed one here, why can't you put one here? And that's the quandary that we get put into. But at the end of the day, the decision comes down to, you know, what kind of problems is this development gonna cause? I learned a lot just by talking to a couple of residents over there that I didn't know some of the problems that MHS caused when it went in, you know, cracked foundations and, you know, a guy's water was compromised. And, you know, for that reason, I think if that development caused those kind of problems, it's logical to think this development's gonna cause the same problems. And somebody brought up, you know, I've always believed that when it comes to industrial residential, there has to be like a transition or a step down type zoning. I don't like industrial running up against residential. We dealt with that on Old 61 with the development, and people know, I think we were all staunchly against it, just for that reason. And that developer, or that potential developer wanted to sue us. And we said, okay, we'll go to court and fight you. You know, we did do that. Now, we won't get credit for it, but we did do that. And they eventually walked away from it. But when it comes to this one, I think some of those problems are gonna, you know, rear their head again. But I also think, you know, somebody brought up what's an appropriate buffer or transition, and somebody thought, you know, I think 1,000 feet was brought up. I don't know if it's 1,000 feet. It might be 1,500 feet. I don't know. But just looking at it from my perspective, I don't feel comfortable with it. And I don't think, I think this is one we probably just need to walk away from, because I think when it comes to the return on investment for us, I think it's gonna cause more problems than it's worth, so. That's,
Right. Ms. Bonnie, you said you want to say?
I have two things. One, I'm really proud of y'all for coming and fighting like you did. We don't see Americans standing up anymore and fighting for things. And we're just now starting to, with the change of the presidency, everybody started standing up. So I'm really proud that you all are doing this. And I hope to see more people fighting for other things other than just things like this. And that y'all keep going and keep being proud of being an American and showing that the government works for you, not the other way around. Secondly, I'm gonna ask, because I don't know how it's gonna work tonight. This question is for the attorney. If nobody makes a motion on this, they'll do, but I wanna think, is it not better to make a motion and second it and then vote against it?
Yes.
And then
Or,
what kind
because
of
if we
motion?
don't,
If you don't make a motion and nothing happens,
You can make a motion not to accept it.
it is effectively killed.
right,
But it's kind of like in this limbo of, well, they didn't really take action.
right.
And so it's
That's
kind
what
of
I thought.
lingering, and so I would recommend
So we
taking
need to make a
affirmative action.
motion,
Yeah.
make a motion and second, and then do the vote.
Yeah. That's the-
Because if we don't, it's like I said, then it leaves it open again, and I want it shut.
I mean, that's not to say that somebody can't come back in 2 years and try again.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Right.
just saying that this particular
With
one
this
leaves
one.
in a limbo. And so,
So I just wanted you all to be clear on
My
that, because I'm gonna make a motion. I'm gonna make the motion.
Before we do that, I want to make sure one other thing for you all. This is the purpose of having this transparency. We're going to do this, and any time a development comes into the city, it doesn't matter where it is. Doesn't matter if it's two industrial parks. They still want to make sure we have the same process for everything like that. Because what will happen is, this is now the 5th time that we've actually been together in all this process. I wish it wouldn't have taken that much, but we see that the one entity in this, there was some negotiation that didn't happen, okay? And that's why the frustration was there for a lot of us. But it's important that this process continues. Anytime something comes up in the city, we want you to have a voice, whether you live in the city or not. That's the important piece I want you all to understand. You are partners of ours. You don't live in this city, but I know most of you are in this city in some shape or form. I know, because he's always in our camps, all right? So it's important for you all to know that we appreciate all the feedback. You've been very passionate about it, and I think it's been appropriate. I think the biggest thing is, I do agree with this council. There's got to be ways that when we do these partnerships, that they're done for the best interest of both the residents and the business, and this time was a little lopsided, okay? So again, appreciate y'all being here. Thank you, Bonnie. So, Dave, go ahead, and Mike?
So,
Mike first, or?
I'm totally against it, have been from the beginning. But I did ride through the, industrial park, and we have several empty warehouses over there. We don't need that no more. We need to put the brakes on a few things here in the city of Shepherdsville and look at what we need to fix and quit adding. You know, that's my opinion, just mine. But, I'm like Bonnie, I appreciate you all standing up because it takes a lot of guts sometimes, especially when you think you're coming against powerful people, and we're not. We're just like you. We go to Kroger, we go to Walmart, Dollar Store. I like the Dollar Store myself, but anyway, I just want you all to know that. Huh? You can't find a dollar store? I'm telling you, I know, right? But anyway, thank you all for coming and standing up for your rights.
Mike, you want to add something to this?
Yeah, tonight's vote appears to be for the intent only. It does not actually annex this property. Is that correct?
Correct.
So that'll have to be they'll have to go before planning and zoning for any zoning change or annexation request.
No, tonight, this is
So,
it.
so what happens here is, this is the intent. If this were to pass, then it would go to the planning and zoning for a recommendation on the zoning. The planning and zoning would then conduct a hearing, as it does in all rezoning cases, to decide whether or not to rezone, because they would ask obviously for it to be rezoned light industrial, whether it would be rezoned light industrial. Once that decision is made, it comes back here for two separate votes. The first vote would be you all basically adopting, and that's what you all would have to do. You all would you would just adopt their rezoning, because they've rezoned it, it's in the county, you would just say, we recognize it, we adopt it, move forward. Then the second vote would be on annexation. And then you would annex it in, and it would be rezoned when you annex it in as light industrial.
So I have a timeline of like August the 11th here for a first reading of the zone change and first reading of annexation.
If that were, that may be, I don't know when they would put it on for the planning commission, I don't know when they would hear it, I don't know when it would come back to us and us advertise, but yes, they would both be heard on the same meeting. It was just that the rezone would be read first and then the annexation.
I'll make it easy for you. By your vote tonight, the intent of not annexation is gonna put this away.
It kills it. If the
Okay?
answer to this.
So there's nothing else out there on schedule?
Yeah.
I don't want that, they've heard enough of schedules and everything else. That's not what, the message should be, is that your vote tonight moves this thing out of play.
Yeah,
I heard they're gonna put cows on it.
if the vote is no tonight, that the city does not intend to
The milk
annex,
cows.
I like
then,
cows.
then there's nothing else for the city to do. There's nothing else, there's
Yeah.
nothing else. Now, whether they go to the planning
Awesome.
commission and wanna rezone it, that's a separate issue, but
Yeah.
for us, there's nothing.
So-
So here's what I would tell you guys. I wanna make sure this is clear so that you all know how to vote, cause I can just see some confusion. So Bonnie's gonna make a recommendation. It is going to be basically to approve this ordinance. If you do not want to approve it, if you do not want to annex, your vote is no. If you do want to annex it and move forward, then your vote will be yes. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. It's a little awkward, but,
All right,
okay.
could I get a motion?
Second.
Second.
Oh, okay.
All right. Brenda?
Jennifer, who got it?
I'll give it to Rob.
Okay. All right, Mike,
Yes.
He said yes.
okay, Faith,
No,
Ron,
No.
Jennifer,
No.
Brad,
No.
Bonnie.
Hell no.
just thinking something. All right, so we actually have to go to executive session, so we need to make a motion to go to executive session.
Motion.
Motion?
I'll second.
Second, all right.
And kids, never ever let anyone tell you your voice doesn't matter and your vote doesn't count, because they do.
Thank you all for coming.
All right, so we've got an executive.
I'd just like to express my thought on that, is the
Yes.
fact that it seems like prior to this, we were all labeled as one or the other. We were for this or we were for that. I don't work that way. I never have. I take each individual ordinance or request on its own. And there's going to be, there has been a case before planning and zoning that they gave a favorable recommendation to, that I have heard nothing but opposition to so far. And these are from my constituents in my neighborhood. And they don't wanna build a warehouse. So, yeah, we can get to that later if you like, so.
All right,
That's
so,
my thought. I just
no
wanted to
worries.
express
All right,
that.
so,
We have a motion and a second to go to executive session.
yeah.
Okay.
Mike,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
And while we're gone, if you guys want to, we actually have renderings of the park plan that's actually gonna be in there. It's obviously the playground, includes playground. We wanted to have that out there for you guys to see. So if you got a few minutes, we'll be back as soon as possible.
We will be going into executive session to discuss collective bargaining pursuant to KRS 61.810, subsection 1E.
Is the fire department?
Yes.
If you all want them to.
Yeah. I'll see you soon. Very sorry. Thank you. It's all right.
Looks like you may get more sun than me.
You're very adorable. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you. You're very welcome. I will. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. All right, let's go.
You're so very welcome.
Great process. to return, please?
Motion.
Nope, Bonnie.
Oh, Bonnie, I'm sorry, that was quick. Quick. All right.
Okay, Mike?
Was this motion to return?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Faith?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. No action was taken at this time. All right. And we need to have our first reading of 025023, the ordinance which collective bargaining for the fire department.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025023, an ordinance approving the tentative collective bargaining agreement for the Shepherdsville Fire Department personnel within the city limits of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, sponsored by Councilmember Faith Porman. Summary, Section 1 sets forth that the City Council has been presented with a tentative collective bargaining agreement hereinafter CBA for the Fire Department personnel. Section 2 sets forth that the City and the International Association of Firefighters, Local 5101, desire to enter into a 2-year CBA regarding the terms of employment for full-time Shepherdsville Fire Department personnel below the rank of major, with a term beginning on July 1st, 2025 and ending on June 30th, 2027. Section 3 sets forth that the CBA attached as Exhibit A to the ordinance is approved. Section 4 sets forth that the CBA shall become a binding contract upon passage and publication of this summary. Section 5 sets forth the severability clause. Section 6 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 7 sets forth the publication requirement.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Catherine. All right, at this point, obviously, we'll have our second reading on our next meeting, July 14th. Planning and zoning, I don't have anything from Jeremy today. And then I got a thing from Dwayne Price. There was 2 for the city of Shepherdsville, but he mentioned that the one on Carpenter, there was in nobody showed. So that one, then the other one is Ronald Mulvaney. It passed, and it is, if you've looked at the, it's 2025V-22. It's property off of 44 East, located in the city of Shepherdsville, an encroachment in the front of the setback from 50 to 0 for exiting accessory building. So I don't know, I don't have a lot of details on this. He just sent this to me this morning, so I know some of you kept up with some of the variances. Did you see that? I'm loving it.
I didn't see that one. It's 0?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, and they passed.
It
And
passed.
It passed. Yeah, it's just probably, so I thought that was interesting. I thought the same thing. I thought, well, that's kind of a,
Can we talk about the one on the Hallett property?
Well, they passed that for 60 days, so they have not made a decision.
Right,
yet.
I know that, I just didn't know if we could talk about that any, I haven't had a chance, I got the email from Brenda, the email address for Jeremy, but I think we need for him to know how we feel about that property before he goes in and votes.
Well, we need to email him.
yeah, just,
Okay.
I would,
Didn't
I
that
would
give-
just,
I would bring that up now because somebody.
I tell you, we
Right,
had so much.
so-
was
but
going on,
anyway-
we had just,
Excuse me,
that's,
didn't
Okay,
get
but
put
anyway, you all need to let him know, because this is another case of how we feel we need him to know before he goes in there and makes a vote on it.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would encourage you all to reach out to Jeremy
Okay.
on that Howell
Brenda,
property.
you said I want to see if you guys are not,
You don't have Jeremy's?
Yes.
I don't have his phone number.
Yeah, we'll make sure.
I lost it.
Oh, it's- we'll get it to you. All right, I know we got, just.
I got it in an email from her, I think I can just forward it to everybody.
Okay.
I don't have his phone number, but
I got a question. What do you all want to do about the rezoning that just came down? What's the property, Beech Grove Road?
800 Beach Grove Road. It's a small section where Mike Woods
It's,
lives.
it's Oak Grove and Beach Grove Road, I guess that was where the house was burnt down and then it was torn
Yeah,
down.
Mike Woods used to own that, that was his shop and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how, the big property, what were they trying to, put like a townhouse?
There have been 19
19.
townhouses.
19?
I went over and walked it, and then Josh measured it.
Excuse me, they have, that's just a shade over 1 acre,
No?
and the proposal is for 19 townhomes.
So
How do they get
about
19 townhomes on
2 to
there?
3 cars, you know,
Yeah, the driveways all go on to Beach
I'd
Grove.
like to see the
or,
variances of
Oak
that,
Grove.
how are you gonna put the parking in there, how you gonna come in and out of there?
It's driveways. They're gonna have driveways and they all go, every driveway is on the neighborhood. It's not on Beach Grove. They're not turning on Beach Grove.
It looks
Assume
like,
It's
they're gonna
long
have-
ways.
I assume they're gonna have one entrance off of Oak Grove.
It's driveways. If you look on the
I see.
design, each townhouse has a driveway and they are all on the Oak Grove Road.
Right.
That's what it
not
looked
on
like to
Beach
me,
Grove.
yeah.
So Beach Grove is not gonna have like a parking
Right.
lot in the back.
But to
It's
Oak,
literally-
but from Oak Grove to this development, there will be one entrance, and then they
Right.
each have their own.
Yeah, each has their
Right.
own driveway. It's where you turn right in there. The one before Chaparral, it's the street before Chaparral.
Just reach out, make sure.
So they've already made a decision.
It's coming to us.
I know, it's already to us. So my question to you guys sounds like you all would like to have your own hearing
Yeah.
on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I need to know so that Brenda can tell.
Advertise.
Yeah.
I only
Tell
think a
them
couple
that.
people spoke against it at the thing, 2 or 3 people, I think, when I was
I did
reading
not
it.
make that.
My biggest concern will be flooding.
Yeah, but don't they only have to send email or mail out to the people who,
Fulton County did that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they only have to notify the people whose property it touches, and it's only touching like 2 properties.
Right.
So, that's when,
say it's touching Oak Grove, because there's homes it's gonna be affected.
yeah, they.
Mike, you just wanted something.
One of
I
the
think there was
properties
no
that
room
it
for a
touches
retention pond either.
is on the other side of that brick home.
Yes,
It's 4.5 acres.
exactly.
How many townhomes can you put on 4.5 acres if you can put almost 20 on one?
Right.
Space there, 19 is all.
I just said,
Okay, so you're gonna
It'll
set,
be
you're gonna
a-
set up, you're gonna take care of the publication, we'll have our own hearing on that,
It
okay?
looked like they sent it to quite a few. It's all
oh,
on
did they?
Diligent. If you scroll
If you don't
down,
go
I have
on
a
there,
look. Okay.
it shows
It'll
everything
show.
that went to.
okay. So Brenda,
I
you let Tom.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
get
going
that.
Pioneer meeting knows.
Alright,
That's
so
what I
we'll-
need to know.
Way
we'll let
over
Pioneer
what it
do it. All right, real quick to finish up here, on the, so we got you 2 guys left, you guys have any words of wisdom you'd like to add, police and fire today, I know we've been doing, our departments, you guys good? You good? You good? Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us, I know that, Tom's been doing a lot of work at the park, spent a lot of time this weekend trying to get that finished up, it's been pretty crazy, but a lot of it's gonna look real nice on that when it gets done, and then, obviously, Miss Brenda, do you have anything you wanna?
No, we're just working,
So,
chugging along, getting
The
it done.
sewer department's had some struggles. They had their internet go down, which is very important to their equipment. So they've been working on that all day. So I know they've had a really rough day. So I didn't ask them to come here today. And I asked Crystal to come to they asked Crystal to come to our department head meeting. So with that said, council, Ms. Bonnie?
I have nothing today.
All right. Mike Hibbert?
All I can say is with everything that's going on in the city and all the different entities we have to consider, oh, what a tangled web we weave.
Wow, that's notable. All right. Mr. Bradley?
No.
Welcome back. Glad you, I'm sorry for the first start. No, hold on, no, hey, listen, but you should feel bad for them because they did have a rough start. What was it, how many hours, 26?
Yeah,
Yeah.
26 hours.
I saw some of that, I was like, man,
Another night in Houston, Texas.
wow.
Where'd you
Well,
go?
we're glad you're back.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, but then they had some cool videos. I saw some of the fishing stuff that you got to see, that was pretty cool. Yep. Miss Faith Portman?
I have nothing.
Okay. Miss Jennifer?
I just wanna say that, one of the reasons I did vote no when we had our, budget, when we did the budget, I voted no for the budget. And one of the reasons was because we did not give the firefighters a raise. And I just, like, when we're I just don't feel like it's fair. I also feel like we keep hearing, well, we get what we pay for, we get what we pay for, we get what we pay for. Well, that's how it is with the fire department too. We get what we pay for. And when I see response to fires or medical emergencies on my street, and it is not Shepherdsville Fire Department, I have a problem with that. Because we pay for the best. We have the best fire department in Bullitt County, and I would say the best in the state, in my opinion. And when I see Zonton, and I see Nichols, and They are great fire departments, and I am so glad they are there, but I want my guys to respond to my emergencies. And I think the city of Shepherdsville deserves to have the city of Shepherdsville Fire come to their emergencies.
Jody,
And I
if
think
it's on
we,
fire, go to her house.
huh?
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Rob Adams?
Just a question, how are we with the drainage pipe, and is that gonna start soon?
It's all this rain. This is what's caused, all the rain is stopping us from putting that thing in the ground. You just know, we just saw monsoon weather here, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, how long does it take?
They're actually telling me they can do 50 foot a day, and it's over 1,500 feet. So it's gonna be about a month and a half, they think, a month and a half before they finally get it. And Jason Yoakum, what they're gonna look at doing though, is because the water settles so much in that lower part, they might start with the top part. But they're actually supposed to start here and work up.
Yeah.
But they may take a shortcut and go the other way around. It can be done that way, but it's not the most conducive as far as constructing that stormwater line. But right now, it's mostly weather that's caused that problem.
So
We
maybe
did
my splash pad will finally get put in
5 years. Then I make it.
5 years. I'm telling you, it's gotta be put in before I resign, before I don't
it-
run again.
They'll be all, it's gonna be taken care of.
Just retire.
No, no.
I've already
Rob,
retired.
thank you. Yeah. All right, with that said, a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
Motion.
motion.
All right, second?
I'll second. Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Steve, I'm gonna be a